All right, thank you guys so much for joining us. My name is Sarah Lorenzen. I'm an outreach specialist for the Oklahoma State Regents for Higher Education. We are doing a great series this June with the Citizen Potawatomi Nation. So I just want to say thank you to them for having us on so we can talk about education, financing education, ways to decide on careers, all kinds of good stuff like that. So thank you very much. Today we're talking about the Reach Higher program, and I am going to go ahead and turn it over to my colleagues from Reach Higher who are going to be our discussion leaders today. I'll still be here in the background for technical support. If you have any questions, please pop them in the chat, and just while they're speaking, until we have question and answer, if you can keep yourself on mute, that way we can make sure that everyone can hear everything that they're saying. And like I said, if you have any problems, reach out to me. Ladies, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you and let you introduce yourselves.
Thank you, Sarah, and thank you so much to the Citizen Potawatomi Nation for inviting us to be here this afternoon. We're thrilled to talk to you about the Reach Higher programs through the Oklahoma State Regents for Higher Education. Tisha Bradford and I both work with a lot of universities and colleges in the state, but these programs are administered through the State Regents Office. So she and I are both thrilled to be able to visit with you about the programming that's available and provide some information for you. Reach Higher is a part of Oklahoma's Adult Degree Completion Initiative to encourage more Oklahomans to go back to school and complete their degrees. And through this initiative, we have several programs that are available to you. So we're going to start today with the Flex Finish program. And my name is Sheila Smith. I work specifically with Flex Finish, but Tisha Bradford and I both work with the initiative as a whole to help encourage students to be connected with the program that is the best fit for them. But this program began with a lot of research and a lot of looking into what Oklahomans are really needing to go back to school to finish their degree. And what they found through that research is that over 300,000 Oklahomans left college with some degree or with some credit, but no degree. And in addition to that, over 70,000 Oklahomans had 70 hours or more credit, but no degree. So it's amazing that we have so many Oklahomans who have stopped out for a lot of different reasons. And as we all know, students stop out for any number of reasons, whether it's family reasons or finances, starting a family or taking care of family, issues with financial aid or lack of financial aid, so many reasons why adult students stop out. So we wanted to address that need and look at how we could support those adult students with going back to school. And as we all know, there's so many reasons for going back to finish your degree. The personal satisfaction of completing what you've already started, that feeling of, I know for a lot of students I've talked to over the phone, they've waited, maybe stopped out for 20 or 30 years or more. And when they look back and they think, I want to finish this degree, this means something to me, this means something to my family. There's a huge ripple effect, I know, with completing your college degree. It affects you and your family, your children, and those around you as far as that ripple effect of looking at just the overall satisfaction of completing your degree. But also, of course, there are many opportunities that come with that, better job opportunities or higher earning potential, things of that nature. There's a lot of research involved with the higher earning potential of completing a degree, whether it's an associate degree or a bachelor's degree. But many times it's just having more options available to you as a degree completer. But what we looked at with adult students, of course, there were several factors that were critically important with looking at how can I maintain a full-time working schedule and taking care of family and going back to school. So we looked at convenience, an accelerated format, credit for previous experience and cost. And many students who I talked to over the phone, Tisha and I both work directly with students. And some students have let me know they've worked in a certain field for 20 or 30 years. But now at this point, they're required to have a degree. And they may have extensive experience in a certain area. So it's fantastic that we have some options now to be able to apply for some prior learning experience and to be able to receive credit for some of that past experience, which is great. But of course, cost was important to look at. And this program, it was designed by leadership from the State Regents Office, but also through university and college faculty and administrators. Their goal in starting this program was to look at how could they add courses that students could begin to apply their knowledge immediately. How could they take courses, and which courses would they need where they could begin to apply those skills immediately in the fields they're working in now and the position they're working in now, but also how could they apply that learning to a potential opportunity down the road, and looking at how they can meet the needs of Oklahoma businesses. It's a very unique program, really offering some connection with coordinators and navigators to provide some support to those students and navigating the process. And at this point, Flex Finish is offered at 7 universities. We have a bachelor's program at 7 universities and associate degrees at 14 community colleges and technical branches. And with a bachelor's program, students are able to pursue a Bachelor of Science in Organizational Leadership, but they also have the option of an Associate in Science or Arts in Enterprise Development. And all of these programs are flexible, and they're only offered at state schools. They're very affordable programming, and they also are set up in non-traditional formats for students. And here's a list of our 4-year participating institutions. As you see, we're trying to cover the state and provide options for many different regions of our state. So we are partnering with 7 different universities to offer the Bachelor of Science in Organizational Leadership. And the next slide will show our 2-year institutions that offer the associate degree program. We also have many other programs in addition to this enterprise development option. Our goal is to offer a general broad program where we have students coming in, whether they're from they have military background, or maybe a student has changed their major multiple times and then they stopped out, or they have gone back and tried multiple times to complete a degree. Our goal is to help offer them some solutions to how they can package together the hours they have already completed and find out which program really is the best fit for them. So we're looking at general studies or a business focus, but we do have some programs that are considered Reach Higher endorsed programs, and those are fairly broad as far as the general studies or some other areas, again, that are provided in those flexible formats. And of course, we love our photos of students and our Reach Higher family. We really enjoy celebrating the student success in the Reach Higher program. We offer each spring an opportunity for a reception to be able to recognize all of the students and graduates' hard work and determination in completing their degrees. And many times the students I work with, they mention that they may not participate in a traditional graduate ceremony, or they may think, oh, you know, I don't need to do that. I'm in my 40s or 50s. Maybe I don't need to attend those things. But we really encourage the Reach Higher students to celebrate all of that hard work. We know that it is a combined effort to go back to school when you're working and you're taking care of a family. And we want to celebrate our Reach Higher family members and students and graduates. And on the next slide, it also shows you the coordinators. And this is a very important part. This is the key truly to the success of the Reach Higher program, is that we have a designated Reach Higher coordinator at each of those schools that Tisha just listed for you. Those coordinators are there on those campuses to help provide the support that our adult students really need to complete their degree. They are there to provide support from the beginning, at the very initial process of reviewing your transcript, with helping you to map out a degree. As I mentioned earlier, some students have credit from different majors, or they've had a very unique path in completing their degree. So having a coordinator available on our participating campuses, it's an incredible asset to be able to help you with mapping out a personalized degree completion plan. They're available to visit with our students or potential students from the very beginning of the process to map out what are some of your career goals. What is your schedule like? Are you taking care of children throughout your day and you're working throughout the evening? What is the best plan to help you with completing your degree? And they're incredibly knowledgeable. They're faculty members, they're administrators, they're staff members. Incredible support systems available are available across the state for you to help you with going back to school. And also would like to mention that For those of you who are staff members in educational departments or other areas of student support across the state, the coordinators who are designated on these campuses will be a great starting points for you as far as who you can send someone to. If you know someone, or you work with someone, or you somehow come in contact with someone who says, I have quite a few hours but no degree. I stopped out 10 plus years ago. How can I go back to school to complete my degree? I would highly encourage you to go to our Reach Higher website. And on the website, you'll find that list of participating institutions. And for each institution, you'll find the name of a coordinator and their email address and phone number. And you can send students to those individuals, and they will begin the process of helping them to navigate the process of admissions, enrollment, and financial aid on their campuses. And for our graduate numbers, Tisha and I are thrilled to let you know that our graduate numbers are coming in this week for the spring semester, and we're now over 10,000 graduates in both the associate and bachelor's degree programs. So we keep that number updated on our Reach Higher website. We know that all of those numbers just reflect so much hard work for adult students going back to school and making this process work. And we know it has a huge effect on those students and those around them. So we're incredibly excited to announce those numbers. And when I mentioned about support for students, I can't stress that strongly enough, that those dedicated coordinators are there to provide the support that our students really need. I know that when I went back to school as an adult learner, after having stopped out for 10 plus years, it was very intimidating. It was very overwhelming to think about going back to school and what that meant for me as a working mom, working full time. And the goal of having those coordinators available, it truly helps to help someone navigate that process of, if someone has questions about financial aid or about emergency funding that might be available. Some of our institutions offer old debt forgiveness, which has been a tremendous help for so many students who maybe stopped out with several $100s or $500 or more of some old debt that is sitting on an account, where students know that that's keeping them from going back to school and registering. So our goal is to help direct students to some of the services that are available on campus, on the different campuses that are available, and help direct them specifically to a coordinator. So a student can choose, say if it's UCO or OSU as a home institution, OSU OKC, OCCC, depending on the student's needs of where they live, or if they prefer online courses or in-person classes. Most of our programs are available online, but students can also pursue in-person classes if that's the best fit for them. But again, that Reach Higher coordinator can help a student map all of that out with looking at what is the best fit for them. But then again, these supportive services are available, and we encourage students to visit with that coordinator and let them know what are some of their needs. Are they in need of emergency funding, or do they need some support in other areas? And many times whenever I visit with different regions of the state, one of the first questions I typically get is, what are some other scholarship opportunities that are a good fit for students? What else is available across the state for students? And so we were thrilled to be able to now add the Reach Higher Direct Complete program. And this program will offer some additional supportive services and some great scholarship opportunities to connect our adult students, again, with a navigator, with a coordinator, to help guide you through the process. So if the process is overwhelming, for those of you who are students or those of you who work with students, I know whenever I come in contact with a student, sometimes they just need me to take some time and break this process down a little bit. What is step one and what is step two? How do I get re-engaged with the program? How do I now apply for financial aid? And how do I apply for some of these other supportive services? So it's very crucial for us to get someone in contact with a navigator or that support system to then guide you through the process and help you along the way. So if some of our students hit some of those same hurdles, you know, they come up against some issues that are very difficult to deal with, whether it's a flat tire or whether it's a major financial issue or a personal issue, we certainly don't want our students to stop out again. So we try to help our students receive the support they need and try to find some additional supportive services that can help them to stay re-engaged and help them go all the way through to the graduation process. So Tisha Bradford is our navigator with Direct Complete, and with overseeing this program, I know that she provides a lot of great opportunities for students. So Tisha, I'll turn this part over to you.
Thank you, Sheila. I appreciate that so much for the background information about Reach Higher and about Flex Finish as well. So now we'll transition into Direct Complete, which is the program that I navigate. I'm the navigator for, as Sheila mentioned. And just to give you a little bit more background about Direct Complete. So in 2017, the State Regents actually received a grant from Lumina Foundation in order to support an expansion of the Reach Higher program, so thus birthed Direct Complete. And this program focuses on critical occupations for Oklahoma's economic development. So we're going to talk some more about that and give you some more criteria as far as what all Direct Complete encompasses. So it actually began back in 2016. We were actually selected as one of 5 states, which is pretty awesome. We were part of the first cohort that was actually founded. We were funded by Lumina Foundation, as I mentioned before, as an Adult Promise initiative coordinated through the work with SHIO. And Adult Promise is pretty much the parent of it. Every single state has their own version of the Adult Promise, and ours is called Reach Higher. So the Reach Higher Direct Complete program includes degree programs that are linked to Oklahoma's 100 critical occupations list. And some people have never heard of that. Some people have. Just to give you a little bit more information about what that is, the Oklahoma State Regents for Higher Education, in cooperation with our workforce boards and also with businesses, tribal agencies, nonprofits, and higher education institution partners, we're working to leverage the financial support and other services to help adult students complete their degrees with minimal personal cost. And also, we are, according to Oklahoma Works data back in 2014, the reason why all of this came about, only 40.1% of Oklahoma's workforce had a degree, certificate, or high quality credentials. So however, projections show that 70% of Oklahoma's jobs will require some sort of education or training beyond high school by the year of 2025. So to address this skills gap that we're having here in Oklahoma, the state set an ambitious goal of having 70% of Oklahoma's workforce ages 24 to 65 to obtain an education or training beyond high school by the year of 2025. And that's going to include post-secondary degrees, certificates, and other high-quality credentials. So to help Oklahomans reach this huge educational goal, the Oklahoma State Regents for Higher Education actually joined up with Launch Oklahoma. So that's just a little bit of background there and statistical information as far as why this whole program even came about. So who are we looking for? We are looking for students that have, of course, already completed some college, but did not get to that degree. But they stopped out for whatever reason, as Sheila mentioned before. So we're looking for students that are ages 25 to 49. This is our criteria here, of income level up to 75,000 AGI, and those who have completed 75% or 45 hours towards their associate degree already, or 50% or 60 hours towards their bachelor's degree already. They need to have maintained a 2.0 GPA in all of their previous coursework or remedial work. And also they need to enroll in a minimum of 6 credit hours each semester in courses that meet degree requirements and complete their degree within 2 to 3 years. So that's very key. So we're looking for those students who are just about there. There are tons of them. Every time Sheila and I go to an event, it's not hard to find someone that says, you know what, my cousin, my daughter, my someone is 2 credit hours away, 4 credit hours away. They're almost there, and they just need to finish. And that's why we're here, is to help those people get in and get finished. Because Sheila and I both take we take it personally. You know, when you graduate, it's like, yes, we're excited for you. We're great cheerleaders, if I must say so myself. So how do you, Sheila mentioned about getting started. How does someone say, okay, I feel like I fit this, what do I do now? So what they do now is, we have a great website that we're super proud of that is complete now, and it's reachhigherok.org. And potential students can just go to that website and fill out a student interest form. It's a simple form. The best thing about our student interest form is that once they fill out that form and they select an institution, that form is going to go directly to the navigator at that institution, which is so key. It's not going to go to A, B, C person and then, get lost in the, and to prevent that, not only does that form go to the navigator, it goes to me as well. So I see every single form that comes through. I respond to every single student. I don't miss one. I don't skip one. I think I look at my list religiously. I can tell you, if I have 471 students on my list, and if I hear a name, I can say, oh yeah, I've heard that student. I've talked to that student. I know the name. I commit it to memory. So we want to ensure that these students are seen, that they're heard, that we say, oh, we saw your form come through, and then I follow up with them. I give the navigator 3 to 5 business days to reach out, because as Sheila mentioned, our navigators are wearing several hats. They are awesome at what they do. Reach Hire navigator or coordinator is another hat that they wear on top of being an admissions counselor or graduation counselor or whatever. So I always reach back out to the students and say, hey, did you hear from X navigator at OSU Tulsa? Have you talked to Kathy? And, I normally hear, yep, I've spoken to her and I'm well on the way, so we make sure that we follow back up with those students and make sure that we're giving them all that we can give them, all the support that they need, because sometimes you just need a little bit of support and you need to know, okay, someone's going to help me through this process, as Sheila mentioned. So for more information, they can also email us at RH Direct Complete. Those emails go directly to me as well, and I respond to every single last one of those. So those are just some ways that the students can get in touch with us. And once they're on the website at reachhireok.org and they select Direct Complete, there is actually a button that says like how it works. It'll take them through how everything works. And then at the very bottom, there's a yellow button that says Student Interest Form, and that's where they'll click to fill out their student interest form. And again, those forms go directly to the navigator at the school that they select and to myself as well. Excuse me. So as far as financial assistance, to piggyback a little bit more on what Sheila was talking about, we have access to WIOA education and training funds that are as a great supportive service for students. There's so many different supports out there that I was not aware of myself when I began working here. There's so many different, because I was more of a traditional student. I went straight from high school, straight on to college and that sort of thing. But, for the students that are adult learners now, there are just so many other supports that you need. Your life looks different at 25 than it did at 18. So, and we understand that. So we have worked really hard to have these supportive services in place so that the students can actually have some assistance with childcare, with transportation, with, whatever they may need. So we also have tribal education departments, which I will actually show you who all those are here in just a moment, and your Direct Complete navigators that assist citizens who want to finish their degree. As far as institutions that want to participate, so you say, okay, this sounds great. How does my school get involved? What we ask is for a commitment from those participating institutions. We ask that you offer degree programs that lead to employment in a critical occupation. And we'll actually, in a couple slides down, I'll actually go through some of those with you. We also ask that you have a dedicated navigator or coordinator that will work directly with identified students. So those students who have come in saying, I want to be a part of this program, we want to have someone that works directly with those specific students. Also provide assistance as funds are available for tuition, waivers, book scholarships, emergency funding, childcare, transportation. There are a lot of community partners, and we're actually in the process of building an asset map to show all of those different resources that are in the different communities all over the state. There are so many different colleges that have food pantries. One of our co-workers said that she went to a school, she didn't even know they had a food pantry. And she found out about it later, but it's just one of those things where we want it to be common knowledge. If you need assistance, if there's something that you need, we want there to be one place where you can go to find that information, because that's so key as an adult when you've got so many other factors weighing in on you. And plus you're probably working a full-time job, you may have children, you may have aging parents, you may have all of these different factors that you're trying to weigh out along with going to school. So we just really look for our institutions to assist us with that aid, and also informing their students about what is available, what is out there for me if I need it. We also ask that our participating institutions provide degree audits and degree planning for participants, because what I see so many times, and Sheila and I have discussed this, is they say, okay, I have all these classes that I've taken, and maybe I started with this degree, but I don't really want to do that anymore. So what do I do now? So we actually have a great crosswalk that we built that will show, okay, you have classes in A, B, and C, but those classes will actually filter into this degree. And you actually are right on track to get your, degree in this. We know you started out here, but you actually can get your degree in something else because your classes align with that particular degree. And that's something that our navigators can actually walk them through and help them with as well. As I mentioned earlier, we have these are a list of our current participating institutions that we have. We're so excited that these schools have joined in with us, and they see the need. They see that, the students in their community need it. And we've also just recently added Eastern Oklahoma State College. I had to throw them on there. I was so excited to see them come on board with us. But so that's just a list. This is also on our website as well. So this is not something that, you're like, oh my God, let me write them all down. It's on our website. No problem. It's all there. Our current partners that we work with, here's a list, as I mentioned before. We do have several tribal nations that we work with. Huge shout out to Citizen of Potawatomi Nation. Thank you so much for having us again today. We want to make sure that we say that, because this is this is such a great opportunity for Sheila and myself to be able to talk about our program, and any opportunity that we get, we jump on it. So we definitely want to spread the word because it's so needed. As she mentioned before, there's over 300,000 students, and that number has grown in Oklahoma who qualify for this program because they've gone to school and they've stopped out. So we want as many people that we can get this in front of. I think that we're definitely on board to do that. So these are some of our partners. Schusterman offers a great scholarship in Tulsa at OSU. So we've got several partners, and we're hoping to grow this here in the next year and beyond. As I was mentioning earlier, the critical occupations that require a degree, these are some that require an associate's degree. And if you scan through this, you see, RN, tons of engineers, your vet techs, your computer network support specialists. So these are things that we were saying that I was talking about earlier, as far as in 2025, we're going to have that skills gap if we don't get qualified individuals into degree programs so that they can fill these positions. So these are some of the associate degrees that were some of the occupations that require an associate's degree. And here are some that require a bachelor's degree. And again, this entire list is on our website. So don't feel like you have to scan and read right now. If you go onto our website and actually just hover over direct complete, and you go down just a little bit, just hover over it, it says critical occupations list, and you can actually download the entire list. But of course, our teachers are that I could get on my soapbox about teachers, but we definitely need our teachers. That they require a bachelor's degree. Tons of engineers. The word engineer is seen so many times throughout this list. Of course, as I said, our nurses, any type of financial analyst, management analyst. There's so many different degrees. There's another sheet here as well, just showing a few more. So just to give you an idea of where we are going to have a deficit. We're hoping to not have that deficit, but these are just some of the programs where we are trying to, some of the occupations where we're trying to filter individuals into these positions so that they are ready to go and we are able to continue our awesome workforce. Our business and Native American educational partners, we do ask that they commit to a partnership agreement as well, that they work with the state regents and higher education institution to promote the initiative to employees, to clients and tribal citizens, and scholarship individuals to pursue a degree that meets criteria for an occupation on that critical occupations list. We ask that the businesses dedicate to what we call a pay it forward scholarship of at least $1,000. And that business, some of our businesses actually do a tuition reimbursement, which is wonderful. That can work in various ways. Some of them will do a scholarship to that individual so that they are able to advance their degree so they can continue working for them. I mean, how great would it be if your employee is no longer just, an entry level. They're able to advance themselves and now move to manager and move to supervisor or CEO, So we ask that businesses come in and dedicate that pay it forward scholarship each semester, and that scholarship will go towards tuition, fees, books, for those 6 credit hours that the student has to maintain to participate in the program. And also we do other outreach to other agencies or organizations that can cover any remaining costs. So if that $1,000 doesn't cover the cost of their tuition, fees, and books, then Sheila and I are constantly out trying to find different other companies, other ways that we can help these students get, because that is the number one reason that we hear is I can't afford it. I can't afford to go to school right now. But if we were able to give them a scholarship up front, I know that we would have so many more students jump on board because they won't have that financial burden sitting over the top of them on top of everything else that they're dealing with. That is actually, I feel like I ran all through that, but that's actually it. This is the contact information for Sheila and myself. Our emails, our phone numbers. You are welcome to reach out to us with any additional questions and say, hey, I saw the presentation or whatever, and I just want to know about XYZ, because we all know that someone may have a very particular situation. They may have a very particular need, and we understand that working with adults. We totally understand that. And Sheila and I are extremely accessible, especially now during COVID-19. We're home, we're teleworking, but we always try to get back in touch with people that have questions. We do get back in touch with people that have questions, and ensure that they have all the support and all the information that they need to make an informed decision and move forward. So again, our website is reachhigherok.org, and I believe that Sarah is going to make this presentation available to anyone who needs it. So with that being said, Sarah, I am done. So if you would like to see if we have any questions.
Absolutely. I would invite anybody who's on the call right now, if you have any specific questions, feel free to unmute yourself and ask questions right now.
Hi, I have a question. So I saw on the critical occupations list that elementary education was listed as one of the critical occupations for direct complete. And I believe I saw that. There it is. We've been advising at the Citizen Potawatomi Nation a student who has been looking for a bachelor's degree, and I'm not sure that they would qualify for direct complete based on the number of hours, but I'm just curious because the issue we ran up against was finding online opportunities for education programs. I'm just curious if for these education degrees, if those are still offered online, because we have had that question come up before.
And Sheila, I am going to defer to you on that one just so that I don't want to misspeak. I'm sorry. I'm having a technical issue.
Oh, sure.
As far as online.
No, please continue. I apologize.
No, go right ahead. Go right ahead.
I know, Tasha, that has come up as well with several different programs right now. We know that online courses really it's a huge asset to our adult students with going back to school, to be able to have the online programming. I know that in the educational area that what Tisha and I have been hearing through different meetings is that they are working through some of those processes to find out how can they do some more of these opportunities online. How can they, whether it's in a technical area or an educational area, to be able to and show areas of completion with different courses, to be able to utilize online courses or Zoom or several different areas I know that are being utilized right now. Tisha and I can certainly follow up with you and let you know more about that degree field specifically. We work with fantastic leaders in our agency who work with the education program, so we can certainly let you know more about that. As far as I know with direct complete, I know with it being added as a critical occupation and being added with direct complete that they're trying to incorporate, I know, as much as online as possible. Tisha, have you heard anything new about that? It's a process of trying to get most of that online as possible.
Right, absolutely, yes. And I echo what Sheila was saying. It has definitely been a process, and now with COVID-19 changing so many different, areas in just all of our lives, education is definitely impacted severely. But as Sheila said, we can definitely get some more information to you. And after this is all over and talk more specifically about what exactly, the student is needing.
That would be
Is
great.
there a goal, Tasia, to complete it completely online? Is that what, besides their student teaching, is that what they're thinking? Try to complete all the coursework online?
That's what I was wondering.
Yes, that's her hope, because she is a full-time working adult. Like I said, this particular student, Matt, who's also here on the call, and I are both working with her, and she may not fit the minimum threshold for degree completion program. However, for students who may, I do think if you're a full-time working adult and if there is an opportunity to take those classes online, that would be of interest.
Okay. Yeah, we'd be glad to follow up with you with more details about the process for that specific degree program. Would you agree with that, Tisha?
Absolutely.
We could information about how that's mapped out and look at a personalized plan for your student. Absolutely. We'd be glad to help.
I'm making a note.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions? Feel free to unmute yourself and ask. Okay, sounds like we don't have any more questions. I don't have anything in the chat. So we will go ahead and end it there. First, I want to say thank you, Sheila and Tisha, for your time and coming in and talking today. And thank you again to Citizen Potawatomi Nation for having us do this webinar. If you did not know, this is part of a series. This is week 2. So we are talking next week about Fund Your Future, which is going to be talking about all the different ways to pay for a college education for your child or for yourself, and some smart student loan borrowing tips. And then the week after that, we're going to be doing another series piece on public service loan forgiveness and that program. So if you would like to attend either one of those, make sure to head over to the Citizen Potawatomi Nation Facebook page and sign up and join us. It will be Friday at same time, same place. And that is all I have for today. So thank you, ladies. Thank you, Citizen Potawatomi Nation. You guys have a wonderful day.
Thank you all. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you. Have a good afternoon.
Bye-bye.